What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about some of the things that Predator Hunting Grounds failed to fix from the trial, some of the things it still needs to fix now. Kind of have an overall discussion on, the weaknesses, okay, the errors or the flaws of this game. Now, yesterday, we had a lot of, in-game help videos, right? I did one on this channel. I did one on my second channel. Make sure you guys are still, checking out my second channel because I'll be kind of doubling up every single day. We're going to do more in-game stuff. We'll talk about the best gear. We'll talk about the best perks. We'll talk about the best class. Lots of different things, lots of different ideas I have Predator Hunting Grounds related. But I do want to throw in these kind of discussions just to talk about the overall quality of the game, where we're going with, because I think it's important, and we've always talked about it. And I think it's important to be honest, right? And that's another part of this is I can be blatantly honest with you guys and say, I love this game. After day one of the trial, I think literally after, like that Friday night, I wouldn't have said that I love this game. Saturday on from when that trial was happening, I would say I love it. I still love it. I think it's so much fun. I think, again, when everybody gets good at this game, the tension is going to be through the roof. The game is going to be so much fun. That doesn't mean we can't criticize it. And like I've always said, you guys truly rock as a community. I think we're all in this fight together. We want the best game possible. I mean, ultimately, that's just it, right? We want this game to be good. And so we're very willing, and based off the history of Ilphonic, we're very willing to go at them for the mistakes they've made. And they have made some. One thing I do want to say, though, is I'll give them credit on a couple of things. I feel like the frame rate is slightly better now than it was in the trial. I think that the graphics on the PlayStation, now, a lot of people are telling me, like, the PC looks so much better. I mean, yeah, you're right. The PC looked a lot better. The PlayStation 4 was pretty weak. But if it looks bad on one of the two places you can play it, I would call that pretty bad. I'd say that's a pretty big failure, right? So that was the case of the trial. I'd say overall, I feel like the game does look a little bit better, does run a little bit better. Now, one of the things I should make clear is that I'm recording this video on Friday. I'm not recording this Sunday. I'm not recording this like 5 minutes before you guys see it. I understand things are going to get better for some of the stuff I'm going to say here, okay? I do want to make that blatantly clear because I know that in a day from now, in a week from now, in a month from now, if people are still watching this video, people will say they fixed it, or it's getting better, or don't rush them, or things that everybody will say to kind of defend a studio. I get that people are going to say that. That's just the way it is. But okay, let's go into some of the weaknesses. The servers getting into the game is still absolutely too long. Now, again, I get it. I played this Thursday night. I've played this today when I'm recording this. I'll be playing it tonight, Saturday. I'll be playing this like every single day. I understand it'll get better, but any game shouldn't take this long to get into it. We've talked about it. There's really no other way for me to get that through to people than to say that. When you play a game in 2020, in 2019, in 2018, just go back as many years as you want. I think you should expect a pretty fast experience. It's just the way online gaming is. Generally, you want to get in, you want to play your game, you want to get out, and you want to jump back in to another game. That's ultimately it. And with games like Doom, I play like NHL, I play like sports games sometimes. You jump in relatively quickly. Does it take a couple minutes? Maybe. Sometimes it takes less. But does it take 15 minutes? Does it take 15 minutes and then you jump in and you're in your party and they're waiting for people and then you'll never get in? Here's the biggest thing that annoys me with this is when I was playing this on Thursday night, I had times of waiting 16 minutes. I had times of waiting 12 minutes. I had times of waiting 10 minutes. And then sometimes you would get in, and if there's no Predator in your lobby, you are screwed. You're done for because the game will never load. At least again, Thursday and Friday. Will it be fixed? Probably. I hope. But another but a thing to recognize is there were problems with Friday the 13th in the beta, in the trial, whatever you want to call it, and they didn't really fix it. And then day one, week one of Friday the 13th, there were problems. Did they fix it? They worked on it. I wouldn't say it was fixed, and it's still kind of broken to this day. So again, I want to be fair. I want to again say how much I love the game. When you're in the game and everything's running properly, it's so much. I don't know how many times I have to say that to people, but I do want to kind of like protect my back because people are going to get after me. I love parts of this game, but it's okay to call it out for the weaker parts of this game, and loading times are one of them. It should not take you 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to jump in, and then on top of that, another 3 or 4 when you're in your lobby, okay? That should not happen. Another thing that shouldn't happen, like I just said, is if you get into the lobby, and what I found every single time it happened, again, if there was even 3 fire team members and it said waiting for that 4th fire team member and the predator, if the predator has a waiting icon, you will never get into that match. Or at least I didn't, okay? Now, will that be fixed? God, I hope so. But that is a major flaw. I don't know how they could still allow that kind of stuff to happen. It actually is a game-breaking thing because you literally cannot play the game unless it lets you into it, right? And so that is a fundamental problem. Another thing is the glitches. And again, I get it. They're going to fix them. It's just funny that it seems like they worked on some things, and they even said in the patch notes, right? Like the predator moves more fluidly. And people have said that. People said that when they first jumped in, and I do agree. I think overall, the predator is a lot easier to control. He can jump from limb to limb on the trees a lot easier. He can go up the trees a lot easier. He's not as finicky. I would say even meleeing the fire team is a lot easier. Like it kind of locks on a little bit better, like kind of like internal. Like it works overall. But again, multiple times, the game would just say, no, you can't jump as the predator anymore. You're going to be restricted to the ground for the next little while. One time I had the infrared version on, and I was also cloaked, and the game literally kind of froze itself where things were still happening, but I couldn't uncloak myself, and I couldn't un-infrared myself, and the energy bar wasn't being taken from, and all of a sudden it just popped out. Like it literally like snapped itself out of it, like 30 seconds later. So things like that. Oh, I also got stuck on a tree limb as the predator multiple times, which I've seen online. People have said that they've been doing that quite often. The predator will sometimes just get himself stuck like at the edge. Like he'll basically be floating over midair and he won't be able to move on like a tree limb. Again, these are big things. These are pretty big things. Like, will they be fixed? Maybe. You can't promise me they will, by the way. So people that say, well, of course they'll be fixed. Well, I mean, it took you like 5 hours to jump into a Friday the 13th match, and it still takes that amount of time now. So, again, I want to give them credit, but I also want to be very, very cautiously optimistic because I don't want to say, like, oh, it'll be fixed tomorrow, because what if it never is? Honestly, beyond that, it seems like they've learned quite a bit. Are there things I want added to the game? Surely, absolutely. And I think over the next couple of days, we will start talking about, what are some things that we want to see, some maps, some different, maybe some different objectives, stuff like that. There's totally things that they need to add to the game, okay? I mean, for those that say, like, the game is perfect and the game has everything that it needs to survive long-term in it now, I don't think that's true. I think it definitely needs more stuff as the months go on. I think that they're going to give it to us, though. So I want to be kind of positive in my outlook. I think we're going to have some support. But again, I want to these are some things that the trial had a lot of issues. Okay, it had also a lot of really positive things. And I think that one of the special things about this game is it can be so frustrating and like maddening at times, but at the same time, when it works and everything's firing on all cylinders, it is a really special game. And not a lot of games can say that. And I don't know if you want to be put in a game like that, like in a genre of games like that, but this game is that. Okay, this game is a game that when it's not working, it's pretty upsetting. I played a game at like 9:50 or like 10 o'clock at night, and so the game unlocked at 9 p.m. my time. I played a game around 10 o'clock. I didn't have my mic on, but I could hear like the other people talking, and the people playing with me had said to each other that it was like their first or second match, that they were waiting in like queues to get into a match for like 50 minutes. And it's like, that is just absolutely ridiculous. And again, I get it. Will it be fixed? Maybe. How much will it be fixed? I really think you need to shoot for some sort of time that you want to hit. Like, get us in a match in under 3 minutes. Is that possible? I really don't see a reason why it's not possible. And again, like when jumping into a lobby and there's no predator, it's like, how is that even possible when if you go specifically to be a predator, I was waiting 17 minutes to be a predator and it couldn't find me a match. But then when I was a fire team, it would put me in one and then there'd be a missing predator. It's like, are you kidding me? There's nobody out there searching for a match to be a predator. And it's like, obviously that's not the case. Obviously it's the servers. Obviously you could find that 4th fire team member. It's just that the game itself, the internal servers, they can't handle it. So, people are going to say I'm whining. People are going to say I'm complaining. It's how the internet internet is. I understand it. Ultimately, again, I think these things will be fixed to an extent. I hope they're fixed like all of the way. Is there other things that need to be fixed? Absolutely. These are just some of the things I wanted to focus on. But over the next couple days, again, we'll talk about some more informative videos in the game. We'll talk about some things I want added to the game. Lots of different videos going up on this channel as well as my second channel over the next couple weeks on Predator. Okay, so if you guys continue to like this, I do greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. You really do mean the world to me, so I really do appreciate you guys watching these videos. Make sure you guys are liking these. Make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon turned on. All of that good stuff, and I hope to see you guys all on the next video.